Thanks, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer, and I refer to reports today that there is a tidal wave of concern amongst his own MPs about his plans to increase the GST. Why are government members more concerned about their own jobs at the next election rather than the household budgets of ordinary Australians? Will the Treasurer finally rule out increasing the price of everything by increasing the GST to 15%?
Just before I call the Treasurer, the Treasurer can answer the last part of the question. He can't be expected to answer on behalf of other people. With respect to the first part of the question, the Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Every single member on this side of the House is committed to ensuring that Australia's transition in the economy we're experiencing is done successfully and supports jobs and growth. Every single member of this side of the House, Mr Speaker, knows that we need to ensure expenditure is under control and taxes are kept as low as possible. And every single member of this side of the House knows that the best way to keep taxes low is to keep expenditure low, Mr Speaker. That's what this side of the House believes, Mr Speaker. What this side of the House believes, and has shown time in, season out, is that we are committed to the jobs that are in the economy and the growth of those jobs and the growth of our economy, Mr Speaker, because we know that when you have a growing economy, that when people are going out there and they're working and they're saving and investing, when they're putting their back into it, Mr Speaker, when they're making the sacrifices and they're trying to improve their own circumstances, we know on this side of the House that we want to back them, Mr Speaker. And we do not want to see them having to pay more and more and more tax on what they're earning, Mr Speaker, what they're going out there and seeking to earn every day. And we need to try and find ways that we can address that. And as I said before, Mr Speaker, there are three ways you can do it. You can fund it from a surplus which wasn't bequeathed to us, as was bequeathed to the previous government by the Howard and Costello government. You can do it that way. You can do it when there are high rates of nominal GDP growth, and we know because of the global circumstances that's not something that's available. Or you could do it by changing the tax mix, but that's not an easy thing to do, and there are issues associated with that. So as a sensible, mature, responsible government, Mr Speaker, we are actively discussing those issues to find out the best way to support jobs and growth and to put it to the Australian people. But while we do that, Mr Speaker, we will keep on with the job of cutting expenditure as a percentage of the economy, so we can make room for the private sector businesses to go and innovate and have the encouragement they've had from the leadership of the Prime Minister and the Minister for Innovation and the whole team, Mr Speaker. And that is what is giving the Australian people confidence about the future of our economy, particularly at a time when there is such volatility, when there is such uncertainty. And those opposite, Mr Speaker, their plan is just to go back to the same old failed way. They saw it fail, Mr Speaker, over those 6 years as they pushed the budget over a cliff and sunk us into debt and deficit for a generation, it may be, Mr Speaker, in terms of debt. But we will get about the job as we have. Expenditure as a share of GDP is coming down, Mr Speaker, and we'll continue to pursue that. If those opposite got their chance, they would tax as high as they can so they can spend as high as they can, and it wouldn't even cover it, Mr Speaker, so then they just cover the rest with more and more debt.